Conceive, believe, achieve.
This is former UFC middleweight champion of the world, Michael Bisping.
Paddy the Baddy here. You're listening to Combat Sports UK.
And you're watching Combat Sports UK.
The golden rule is the one with the gold rules.
There we are. He said it himself. But hello, my name's Ben Thomas, and you're watching Combat Sports UK. Today, I'm joined by the gangster himself. It's none other than Mr. Oban Elliott. Oh, look at the guns. Look at the gold over your shoulder. How are you feeling?
Yeah.
Go on. How are you feeling?
What's happening? Yeah, I am feel.
You are feel. Bit of stick in there. What a man.
I'm very feel.
Let's have a look at the gold over your shoulder. What is it?
This is the world title.
There it is. The official.
It's got some different logos on it to what that one Reece McKee's got, but this is the real one.
Wow. Give it a few months and you might have the real one over your shoulder. But honestly,
this is the real one.
That's the real one. The real champion, the real 170 champion. But honestly, it's an absolute pleasure as always speaking to you. We're just a week out from your highly anticipated clash with James Sheehan at KJO's 153. How are you feeling? Are you itching to just get back in there and doing what you do best?
I'm feel. Nah, I haven't got it.
You're tired. That's what you are.
Nah, I'm good, mate. I'm fucking it's fucking silly stuff. Yeah, I'm good, mate. You know, it's fucking time to deliver. Simple as that. It's time to play the game.
Are we just gonna get all these little things in there every night? Every answer is going to be a little thing.
Yeah, it's going to be a thing. No, I don't know it. Yeah, it is. It's fucking. It's time, mate. I see the line in the sand. Time to find out who I am.
What a man. What a man. He's back. He's back.
Yeah, I can't wait, mate. You know, it's a crazy feeling. But it's another day in the office. It's kind of like looking forward to breaking up for school in a way. It's like that last day of term where you still got to go to school, but you know you're going to get that nice, you know, that excitement's there now. There's light at the end of the tunnel, whereas when you're just training and just kind of in this fucking hole, you know, eat, sleep, train, repeat. Well, I am anyway. Eat, sleep, train, repeat. That's it.
When do you head out to Dublin by any chance?
Thursday mid-afternoon, early afternoon. So
you're heading over there late. Is that quite late for you, or do you like to get over there a bit later and just do the?
If I had it my way, mate, I'd be getting off the plane and straight into the fucking octagon. But we got to weigh in and do all the media shit and yeah, it is what it is.
Put the cage in the airport and get you on the plane. Get fighting there and then get you back over.
Look, he does it every week in the gym, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He's going to town in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to town in the gym. We do this every day, me and him. So I'm sure he's just as fucking nuts as me.
Definitely. But before we dive a bit deeper into Saturday's bout, I want to kind of touch upon your last bout against Sean McCormack. It was a hard fought 15 minutes, but a dominant display. What are your thoughts on how the night went itself?
I remember looking at him and thinking, fucking hell, he's huge. Yeah, and I was giving him a bit of the razzle dazzle. Remember hitting him and I was hitting him with some good digs, and he either had a good poke face or they weren't knocking him back. Like I was trying to, it was just one of them. I took it on 10 days notice, and I was like eating dinner the night before, drinking, eating breakfast before the weigh-in, and I weighed in with a Lucozade bottle full. You know what I mean? And I was still like 184. So because I'd already when you're training for fights, right, and you doing a weight cut, but you get your body ready for the cut. So I was getting my weight down, and when you do it so much that when you start getting your weight down, your body kind of knows what's coming, so your weight just keeps coming off. And when the fight got booked, I was already like, I was ready to fight a welterweight. So then I was like, oh, okay, I guess I can eat more. But then, like, by the time the fight come around, you're not going to put that like substantial amount of weight on in like 10 days time. So, I remember he was just huge. He was so thick, and I just had to just fucking, what's the 5 rules of dodgeball? Duck, dive, dip, dodge, and fucking dodge. Just fucking around him like a hare, twist him through a field and put him on his back, keep the big fella down, give him yeah, it was a risky fucking move. It was a gangster's move, I know that.
Exactly. But like you said, you took it on 10 days notice. Were you surprised with how tough he was to put away? Because, I mean, you mixed up your shots very nicely that fight. The leg kicks were there, the body strikes. You went to the head. It was so mixed up, and he just couldn't guess where you were going next. Were you surprised how he just wasn't put away?
Well, mate, like, I'm always trying to... I don't know if I was cruising, but I was like the boss in there the whole time. So I wasn't going to go try and lift him out of there. It just weren't on. And he was a big fucking man. So it's like, maybe if it was a 5-round fight, you could set stuff up. But I wasn't going to go rushing, looking for a finish that wasn't on a plate, because like he kept coming and swinging, and he didn't really hit me the whole fight. So, and I didn't really want to find out, because again, there was so much of the unknown. I knew he was about. I spoke to him in the crowd after. I left the hotel. I was like 84 kilos, about right, and he told me in the crowd he was about 91 leaving the hotel. So, and he felt every bit of that as well. So, imagine he catches me a bit reckless, and he's got 15-pound extra body weight, and he's cracked me on the chin. And imagine I'm there looking up at the lights now, taking a fight on 10 days notice at a weight class above, when I've got all this potential, and then I just take a silly little risk like that just for the sake of getting a knockout, mate. I am a knockout machine. Do you know what I mean? So there's plenty of fucking time to do all that shit.
Well, I mean, the knockout machine returns this Saturday in a highly anticipated bout against James Sheehan.
The killing machine.
The killing machine, the knockout machine, the gangster himself. But
yeah,
James Sheehan in Dublin. What do you expect your opponent to bring come fight night?
His fucking jock strap and his gum shield. And 2 arms and 2 legs and a jaw that I can just obliterate, mate. That's it.
Do you see the jaw being open for a punishment that night?
Mate, look, I'm sure he's going to try and rip me to shreds. So I don't know what the fuck's going to happen. It's a mad old fucking game, this is. You know what I mean? It could be a quick one. Could be a brutal war. Could be, I don't know what the fuck's going to go on. But I know I am going to absolutely empty the clip on the can. Yep. Do you know what I mean? So what else am I going to do? You know what I mean? I'm just going to go out there and perform and give it everything I've got. When I say empty the clip, I'm going to give it everything I've got. I've been training today, and I give it everything. I've given this everything. I give it everything every time, but this one, I try and I know my limit. I learn more about myself each fight I train for, and my limits, with my life, that, with work and everything that I like juggle. So I learned my limits, and I've pushed myself further than I ever thought I could for this one. Maybe my next one I can push further again, but I'm definitely excited to go to work next week. Fucking right. I'm nervous about whether or not my coaches will be happy. It's the only thing I'm nervous about. I'm not nervous about anything else. I'm nervous about giving them something that they invest all that time in me. I want to make sure I fucking reward them with a performance. That's about it.
We'll get on to one certain coach a bit later on, because I do want to mention Richard Shaw a bit later on. But where do you see your advantages lying on Saturday night? Because I mean, he's a very versatile opponent. He's got good hands. He's got a solid ground game, and your records are kind of similar in a way, in terms of you've both got a few decisions, so you can go the distance. You've both got the gas tank there. You've both got knockouts, so you've both got the hand power to put someone away. You've both got the ground game, so you've both got submissions. Do you see a certain aspect of your game maybe matching up a bit stronger than his and then going on to take him from there?
I just think, right, he's an absolute athlete. He can do it all. He's brilliant. But I'm just made out of granite. It's just one of them things. I think it's a genetic thing.
Yeah.
And he's just going to feel the difference. Maybe he's also one of them freaks, but I just think I've got that. I don't know. I'm just cut from a different cloth. But not to say that he's not an absolutely outstanding fighter and a great guy, and he's taking me serious and all that. But I think I don't know. I really, really don't know what's going to happen. I know I'm just going to give it my best shot, and I know the things I'm good at. And I know I've got fucking attributes that are hard to deal with. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I know he's just got a tough task on his hands. That's the same as I've got a job on my hands. Yeah, well, fucking hell. This is fighting. This is why we do it.
Exactly. I mean, in my opinion, this is one of the most anticipated fights under the Cage Warriors banner right now. I mean, he's on a 4-fight win streak. You're on a 3-fight win streak. Both of you are on an absolute welterweight tear. And I saw that you were on the Energize show. You went one-on-one with him over Zoom. And it's clear to see that you've both got an immense amount of respect for each other. But I know you're both expecting an all-out war. Is this one of those fights that maybe reminds you why you fell in love with the sport in the first place?
Yeah, because it's like, yeah, that's a good question. Very good question. It's like I love this sort of stuff. You know, like I'm the type of guy that if someone's class is really good, I've got to go and have a little taste. It's just who I am. So that's how I've been since the fucking dawn of time. I've never chased someone who I thought I could 100% beat. Put it that way. I live by the American gangsters code in that sense. If you go after a fight, you know you can win. You're a bully, and I've never done that. And I heard that as a kid, and maybe it's brainwashed me into thinking that that's what I should be doing. But I've never chased a fight that I know of 100% I can win. I don't know if I can win this one, but I know I'm going to give it my absolute all. If I go and beat somebody up or I know I can beat up, I don't get anything out of it. I don't get an ego boost out of beating someone up who's like, you know, fucking. I don't know if you noticed with me, there has to be a fucking, like every one of my wins, there's been like, at my debut, he'd have like, God knows how many, like 12 fights. He was like 9-4, 13 fights. Then my second fight, that was a French guy, but he had double my fight. He had like 6 fights. He was like, no, 4 fights. He was 2-2 or 3-2, like 4 or 5. Then the fight after that, I went through like 4 pullouts and then fought James Lilly in a weight class up on fucking like a week's notice. When I was cutting the lightweight and then boom, went up to lightweight. So there was that. There was a challenge in that. And then we had the full year off. Then I had that fight with Figak at lightweight, which is something I haven't done for fucking... At the time, it was like 18 months between the cuts. So that was a big challenge in itself. Then a year after that, I'm taking another year off. Then I'm taking one of the biggest welterweights, which is a big challenge in itself. Then 8 weeks later, I'm fighting Mada Flamina. She's got triple my fights, 10 years older than me, which is a big challenge in itself. And then I'm coming off now. There's a make or break fight then against some undefeated guy that they just signed in that Hercos Lucasunas. Massive challenge. Fight after that, former world champion. Massive challenge on 10 days' notice. You know what I mean? Fight after that, up the middleweight on 10 days' notice. They're not just these little, let's slot in here and work your way up the fucking ladder, mate. That's not who... I don't think it's even fair to do that. And I don't even think Cage Warriors will match the fights if they weren't putting me in, like... There's a reason I've been matched the way I am. And there's just been stuff that I've been figuring out along the way. And I've been grateful to learn the lessons I've had. I've only got fucking 2 losses out of 9 fights. That's a class record. And one guy's in the UFC now. That's across. I've only had 1 loss in this weight class. I fought and won and got. I fought and won in 3 weight divisions now, and I've not even had my 10th pro fight yet. And now I'm fighting some guy in his backyard on a 5-fight win streak in his backyard. What can anyone fucking say to me? Nothing. Nothing.
The gangster.
So yeah, that's it.
Nickname.
I can't even remember what your question was now, but it was like, yeah, this is why I do it. Yeah, because like when I was younger, I remember when I was in year 7, I had a fight with the year 11, and it was something that I just felt like I had to do. I was like, fuck it, I don't care if you're year 11. And I was like, oh my god, are you really gonna go and have a fight with him? Fucking right, I'm gonna have a fight with him. Or like we're down the park, and then the boy from the city up, we got beef there, and I'll fucking walk up to him through their friends and fight with it. That's just how I've always been. So in the fight game is kind of, I guess this is how it's gone. I don't fucking understand. Yeah, I'm not really surprised how it is right now, but yeah, no one's forcing me to do this. I do it because I want to do it.
I mean, that's how you got the nickname, beating up year 11s as a year 7. But honestly,
yeah.
Let's talk about your walkout on Saturday. I mean, it's always electric when a gangster goes to war. And I say this every time we speak, but your walkouts are always iconic and they are always the best of the night. But this time it's in the backyard of your opponent, as you just said a moment ago. Have you got anything special planned? Are you walking out to maybe Gangster's Paradise, something else?
I've got a special plan, yeah.
Yeah?
Of course I got a plan. What kind of fucking...
I knew it. You've never let the walkout game down. I knew it. You've got one of the best in the business.
Mate, I have got a plan for everything.
Yes.
I have it. It's all thought out, mate. Don't worry.
I mean, you've got a planned walkout. So how do you expect the fans to welcome you to Dublin? Because I know everyone loves the gangster, but you are in the backyard of your opponent. And I spoke to Richard the other week, and he claimed that you may need some security to get in and out of the building, but you feed off that crowd. How much do you think you can feed off the crowd's energy? And will that give you an added advantage in a way, a bit of more motivation if you hear someone booing?
I think they're going to approach me. I think they're going to approach me the same way you'd approach a wild fucking panther in the middle of a forest. You'd be like, fuck that. So, what are they going to do? What are they going to do, mate? I don't, they're not gonna be cheering, are they?
Nope.
So what are they gonna be? They're gonna be like, "Ooh, fuck you," and I'll be like, "Yeah, fuck you." So, and then I'm sure like doing rugby back in the day, swap t-shirts after game. I'm sure we'll have a little fucking. I got no issues with this guy, with Sheehan. I'll have a beer with him after. I'll have a beer with all his boys after. We'll all go for a beer if you want. Don't bother me.
Are you staying in Dublin for a few days after as well?
Yeah, it's going back on Monday, yeah.
Well, that is going to be one hell of a weekend, honestly.
Yeah, it'll be a good weekend, yeah. That's why I'm laughing, yeah. It's going to
be a bloody heavy weekend as well.
Bit of a ripper, like, yeah.
But do you think a bit of what Richard said, where you might need security to get in and out, is a bit right? Because could it be shades of like Kobe Covington when he went to Brazil and basically called it a dump and exploded the whole?
I'm not. Well, it depends. I have never been to Dublin, so I can't really call it a dump yet. But we're going to be obviously like, they're pretty rough out there. Like apparently they are. It does get rough out there. You can't be. You got to keep your wits about you. I keep my wits about me wherever I go. But seeing as I'm in full on enemy territory, it's a big fight. Probably gonna be careful. Yeah, security. Don't think that's necessarily fucking. You're gonna find some harder security guard than me out somewhere. You know what I mean?
I knew that was coming. Then I knew that.
Yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, no. I mean, I'm not paying for security, but if they want to get some boys with us, then fair enough. Yeah.
I mean, Dublin is honestly one of the best places for fights, and it's going to be one hell of an atmosphere no matter what. But
yeah, it'd be good, mate.
But do you believe that this is a title eliminator? If you get through this fight, do you reckon you booked your place in the welterweight title shot? The gold.
The golden rule is the one with the gold rules. Nah, Um, yeah, but at the same time, like, whatever. That would not do anything. It would do a lot for my career, but it doesn't do anything for like. I don't need to. Maybe if you asked me a year ago, it would have been like, oh my god, yeah, please. But I've finally fucking got grip of life in the sense like Dominic Cruz said, you don't need a belt to be happy. Like, I don't need any of this to be happy. I do this because I want to do it. Whereas before, I used to do it to be happy, to have a bit of self-worth. Now I'm at a point where I'm like, I do this. I'm lucky to do this. I'm literally being all expenses paid out to Dublin for a competition that I used to have to pay to enter when I was a kid. Well, my mother used to have to pay to enter when I was a kid. So if they want to fucking put me up for a world title fight next, I'll be ready.
Well, I mean, the welterweight title fight between Maurice McKee and Jimmy Wallhead is obviously taking place directly after your co-main event slot. Will you potentially be hanging around at cage side watching, see who your next opponent is?
Yeah, I'll watch the fight. Yeah, I don't give a fuck who wins though. Like I hope, like Reese is in a tough spot because Reese is a fucking top man. I've like met him a few times, and you know, you got to fucking tip your hat to your elders, haven't you? You know what I mean? Jimmy Wallhead. He's done a lot in the sport, and you don't want to see him go out fucking face down. You want to see him go out on top, but then again, Reese has got his own career to look after, so it's a tip. It could be a passing of the torch. Hogan, shades of the Rock and Hulk Hogan, WrestleMania 18 sort of thing. Or it could be like Wallhead beats Reese, and then it's like, fuck, Wallhead retires, and people fight for the. But whatever, like, they're all tough men to be doing this. If they train as hard as I train, then I fucking respect them a lot. You know what I mean? So, yeah, power to them. The best man will win there. Same way the best man's going to win in my fight. And you know what? We should all fucking have a fucking picture after and say, well done, because we're the four boys around that this card was built around. So, yeah, it'll be a nice, almost like a celebration, the whole evening, well.
And obviously, you made an appearance at Cage Warriors 152 in Manchester on Saturday night, hanging next to Paddy the Baddie and supporting your teammate Rory Evans, who unfortunately lost in the top war. But how was your night? It must be a breath of fresh air to just sit back and enjoy some of the fights. Obviously, you watched Rory and you went through the emotions there. Next to Paddy, whose opponent was fighting Rory. But
yeah, I don't know why, like, they fucking writ us down.
Mm-hmm.
They put my seat next to his. And then he was like, fucking Gittins on. And I was like, yeah, he's fuck. Because I knew Paddy, like, before he went like a superstar. Obviously, like, we knew each other from Cage Warriors anyway. And he's a fucking legend. I'll tell you something about Paddy while it's on top of my head, right? My first loss, I remember when Paddy came on the scene, people tried to slag him off. People who didn't know him around here then suddenly started to know him. They'd ask me, do I know him? Who is he? Whatever. My first loss, my head was fucked. I was like, oh my God, motherfucker, can't believe it. Give it a couple of days. I remember I was sat in one of my friends' houses, message Paddy the Baddie off his old Instagram. He's been banned off so many. And it was a message as long as my phone screen is long, kind of thing, yeah? Saying just words of encouragement, like, you've been in the spotlight since you turned pro. I lost my fifth pro fight. I know what it's like, people slagging you off, but you're fucking going to the top. You're what else is he saying? I fucking lost him because his Instagram's got deleted. He said just nothing but words of encouragement. And I was reading it, I was like, oh my God, because I was only 22 at the time. I was like, oh my God, everyone thinks I'm shit now, blah blah blah. And he just fucking lifted me up. I was like, oh, what a guy. You know, texted back and forth like that. I kept in touch back then when his phone wasn't probably what it was now, you know. And fucking yeah, I don't know if I've shared that before, but I hadn't seen him until I fought McManus, and since that time he went massive, and that's when I thanked him for that message. After I beat George McManus, I said, I haven't seen you since, But remember when he messaged me, he was like, don't worry, lad. Everyone needs a fucking few words of encouragement, do you know? And I was like, nah, mate, because it was like all over online. I was just getting slated, and it was tough to see, like on social media. And he fucking just picked me up, and I was like, oh, what a guy! And then he obviously become the celebrity that he is. It couldn't happen to a better guy, in my opinion. But yeah, back to the original thing, what you said, that when they sat us next to each other, like, it was good to see him. It was as if he hasn't changed a fucking bit. He's a legend. And they sat us next to each other, and then when fucking get into Rory were fighting, it was just like, didn't really look at each other the whole time. And then when it happened, we were like, oh yeah, sounds like shook hands kind of thing. And then just good to see him. He's a fucking, as I said, he's a fucking top man, and he is a salt of the earth kind of guy. There was people queuing up taking pictures of him. I'm honest to fucking God, he had time for every single person. He had time for every single person. And I was like, his mate had just lost, and he was in total disarray. He was like, fuck. And then someone was trying to grab him for a picture, and I found myself like saying, fucking leave him. But he probably would have had a photo with the guy. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, he's a fucking fair play to him. Top man.
What a top man. And I'll be honest, I was half expecting to see you jump in the cage when Flaminas was fighting and try and make it a 1v1v1 WWE style fight. Were you kind of itching to get back in there and just make it a WWE style fight?
With fucking Flaminas, mate, I think like in our fight with me and him, I think power to him, right? He's a crafty old cunt. He's a crafty veteran. I've seen him, but my language is terrible. I'm sorry. He's a crafty guy. He won that fight. He was the boss in that fight. Kept him at the end of his punches. But in mine and his fight, I think like he knows full well how fucking there's luck involved in this sport, and he was lucky not to fucking. The canvas was slippery as fuck, and I swear to God, I was hitting the whiskers off his cheekbones when I was fucking the bombs I was throwing at him. He's lucky he didn't eat one of them. Do you know what I mean? It was, and so I thought, right, I'm fucking fighting with him. Let's just rip him down. I can't seem to catch him because he was just like all over the shop. I took him down. I was reckless with my takedowns. I was just like young, rushing. I was in that invincible mode kind of thing where I just thought, fuck it, fly through him, blast him out. And he just taught me an old man lesson, a bit like McGregor Diaz. So I don't have much interest. I went and shook his hand after the fight and said, well done. And shook his coach's hands, I don't have any like, oh, I have to get him back. Because I think he's going to like say, hey, I fought him, without maybe I'll pass across again, but I wish him the best. Well, he had a great fight against me. He weathered the storm, turned it around, and beat me fair and square. So when he was fighting, I was cheering him on. Mm-hmm. I was hoping he would win. I'm not that type of guy.
Mm-hmm. And one man impressed on Saturday night was a good friend of yours and teammate to Paddy the Baddy, Nathan Fletcher. He secured the one triangle choke and moved himself one step closer to the title shot. Guess how impressed were you with his performance?
Fucking mate, I was landed with him because he'd had some. I tell a story there. Did he say it in his interviews? He said, well, I had my first fight back after my first loss, won that, and then that was the same night he took his first loss, and we were in the same changing room, and when we were warming up, we were nodding at each other, just like mutual respect, I guess. And then I had a little word with him after the fucking thing. I said, look, keep your head up now. I've just got over all this shit that you're about to go through. So if you ever need me, give me a fucking shout because I know what it's going to be like now for ages. Your head's going to be a bit. I didn't say this to him, but you have your first loss. It's a process, getting fucking over it. And he was upset. He just lost his title shot. I was like, fucking hell, that's terrible for him. I see his girlfriend. I was like, there for her kind of thing. And then I give him a message. I think he said, got your number, give him a chat over the phone. I said, don't worry, mate. I know what it's like. I've had this win. Don't really give a fuck because I know how fickle this game is. And then it was of course, for a year, we just kept in touch. And then he fucking yeah, he'd have pull out, he'd have injury, and then we just keep touch base, motivate each other all the time. And then, yeah, mate, it was fucking good to see him back on top. Like, fucking, yeah, because he's like, honest to God, I've only met him, say, however many times, but we fucking FaceTime, Snapchat, just like I would do any of my other mates. Because we're like literally the same age, we're on the same fucking journey, we've had the same amount of fights. It's just like, we just kind of touching base, giving each other different perspectives and different gyms and all that. I fought his fucking teammate, Bonner. That was all. We didn't really speak then out of respect for that. And yeah, just fucking, he's just a fuck all the gyms and all that politics bullshit. He's a fucking good friend, one of my best friends. But believe it or not, he's just, you know what I mean? We do nothing but build each other up.
I mean, I'm speaking to him tomorrow after this actually, and he's one of the nicest guys you could ever wish to meet. He's
a fucking top man, yeah. And everyone's slagging him off online when he lost. It's like, fuck off.
It's a fickle fan base sometimes, isn't it? But
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why I'm like, you know, everyone's up my ass again now. I'm on look at this win streak. Come on,
exactly.
Imagine I get my head kicked off next week now, and everyone's like, "Wait, he's all this, he's all that," and I literally sleep the same. Don't worry, I don't. I do this for me, not for a fucking extra pat on the back.
I mean, it's a crazy fan base, but I'll let Nathan know that story, and I'd love to hear what he says about it. But
it's literally the same. He'll tell you the same thing. It's just out of sheer fucking. Like, I was just there for him when he was going for that shit, and like I just made sure he was. I don't know why. I felt like obliged to do that. It just happened. Just fucking, he's a mate now, mate for life, guaranteed.
So I mentioned Richard earlier on, and I wanted to briefly talk about his battle with cancer. The world learned about his diagnosis at UFC 286 after Jack Shaw's submission victory, but I believe you found out in December. Just how inspiring is it to watch Richard go to war in many respects with cancer and tackle it just as well as he has?
Yeah, exactly, mate. Fucking hell. Just absolute king. Absolute king. I try and remind him, and I do fucking remind him every day. It probably gets on his nerves now, but like, I'm literally there. I think this is why I've trained hard for this fight than I have done ever, because I can't lie in bed an extra hour, or I can't not do this or not do that. Knowing that he's literally fucking training every day, or he's up to gym with us every day at least. One was when he was having his chemotherapy. Like, have his chemotherapy, and he's there on the. How you feeling? He's like, oh, I'm not feeling shit. I'm like, and he's barking orders where he's got to bark orders. Then he's right, I'm gonna go now and fucking get the MMA boys done and go home. And like on a Thursday, like, you know, our training schedules, he was there. He didn't miss one. And like that was just like a fucking eye opener. And I remember I was doing a night shift, and I've done it ever since, really. Doing night shifts, and I get up and go training, and I'm like, oh, fuck. Couple of hours sleep, go do the morning session, and then the one day I remember I was thinking, fuck, I got in mega late after my night shift. I was thinking, fucking, I can't go in. Surely I can't go in. And then I was like, there's a man there with cancer who's going through chemotherapy treatment who will be on that mat, and I'm bitching to myself because I might be not going because I've had shit sleep. And I was like, nah. And then I told him, I said to him, I was like, that I literally had that conversation with myself, and I did. And it just kind of, yeah, it's fucking motivated me. And I don't know about everyone else. I'm sure it's motivated everyone else, but like, it's just made me. Know when I'm feeling super shit and knackered and fucked and gotta go, and like, oh my god, you know, you can sometimes talk yourself out of them where you're thinking, is this overtraining? And then you think he's on a cross trainer now and he's just had chemo. And he's like that. I'm like, nah, fucking hell, I have not got a single excuse in the world. Get in the fucking car, or get on the put your running shoes on. Do you know what I mean? That's what it did for me. Fair. What a man.
Mm-hmm. And you're obviously a very tight-knit gym. When I had the pleasure to come along and film some of your training sessions, you could sense there was a sort of family vibe to the group. Periods like this, with Richard battling cancer, does it kind of bring the team close together and make you all stronger as a group?
Yeah, definitely. It's, well, fucking hell, this is what excuse has anyone got?
Mm-hmm.
No one's got an excuse. He's there. Do you know what I mean? And he's like tamp him if you're late and that. It's like, wow. And I used to be late all the time. And he got fucking skits, and I'm like, oh my god, I've literally been in traffic. And he's like, oh, leave. Sometimes he is just so stubborn with stuff. Like, you can literally get, I don't know, an alien could abduct you or something, and he'd be like, nah, well, you should have left earlier, shouldn't you? Or fucking a crash could happen, or you could blow your tire, and he said, well, you should have had your spare on. It just is, and you're just like, but then, I guess, for me anyway, 100%, because he has inspired me big time, massively. It's been fucking terrible. Do you know what I mean? Terrible news. But he took it like a fucking champ, like an absolute, like, I cannot express it enough, like an absolute warrior. I just in awe of him with the way he's dealt with it. You know what I mean? Terrible time. Like, you know, it's rough for everyone, but like, he was back and forth with his radiotherapy, and then he's half cornering, and he was cornering the Academy Show boys, and he just, obviously he does that. He obviously didn't want to stop to keep him normality, but he didn't want anyone feeling sorry for him. He didn't want any fucking pats on the back. He just soldiered on and like really did. Like, I'm just like, man, what excuse have I got for anything when I have witnessed firsthand now a man in his 50s turn up every day to the gym on time while he's going through cancer, while his head's fucked, no doubt, kept the stiff upper lip, turned up every day, and it's, you know, everyone's got that bitch inside of them, but seeing what that, it made me really dispel the bitch inside of me as best I could, because I just thought, wow, what a man. And I said recently on an Instagram picture, I don't give a fuck about winning or losing, and I definitely don't give a fuck about winning or losing. I just don't want to let Shaky or Carl down. That's the one thing I'm nervous about. That's the one thing. If I'm like tamping, sat in traffic, it's because I know Shaky and Carl will be fuming that I'm not 10 minutes early. If I'm 5 minutes early, then I should have been 10. So I'm like, scoop. Nothing else matters. When it comes to this, it's just about not letting them down. So, yeah, it's a big motivation. Mike Tyson used to say you should have a healthy respect and fear for your coaches, and I definitely do. I'm fucking shit scared of them, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
Honestly, perfectly said. He's one of the most inspirational guys out there, and watching him tackle this has just been absolutely mind-blowing, because he hasn't stopped at all. I mean, you said he was cornering Cage Warriors Academy Wales. He's cornering every one of your guys who were fighting at the time. It's absolutely crazy.
King, just absolute fucking king, mate. You know, he's pushing me. He's pushing me, like, he's on the phone to me about my fight. Like, he's on about this. He's chasing me up to fucking this. And I'm like, what? How has he got time for me if he's going through this? Do you know what I mean? No, but in a way, like, I'm like so grateful for it. And that's why I don't give a shit, right? I go out to Dublin and literally Sheehan, we go to war for 2.5 rounds and he sparks me out at the end. But as long as I've fucking made Shaky and Carl proud, and I haven't got a foot out of line for them two, they're the only people I'm trying to appease and impress. So, especially with this whole fucking thing going on, like, he's there when he had his mask on and he was saying, yeah, do this. I'm just like, fuck me, man. You know, what a guy. And, you know, it's been fucking same, you know, when Tank had his UFC fight, like, fair play to him. Keeping his head on with all that, you know, because he's old man, he's going through all that, and he's got to go, he's coming off a loss, going into the UFC, weight class above, pressure's on, and with all that shit going on at the same time, you know, fuck. But, you know, Kings.
One hell of a you've got down there.
Yeah, and everyone fucking loves it as well. Everyone, like, sees how cool it is, you know what I mean? So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if fucking Sheehan or the people in Dublin, Do you see what I'm saying now? While I've struggled to answer these questions.
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna boo you, like, mate. Fucking hell. I'm shit scared of being 5 minutes late to my gym before I give a fuck about going to some other country and have a load of people boo me. Fuck off. Who the fuck are you? Nobody. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, that's where it kind of. I'm going on a bit because I want to make sure, like, I've given Shaky the fucking respect he deserves there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And finally, do you have any final words for either your opponent or your fans watching right now? No.
Thank you for everyone who's like supporting me. Thank you for everyone who's come to watch. What's the date today? My T-shirt will be released on Friday the 21st. So I don't know when this interview's coming out. It's coming out tomorrow. My T-shirts will be out tomorrow. I will thank my sponsors and my opponent. What I've got to thank him. Just he's doing his job. I'm doing mine. This is going to be. This is the. I don't know. Tune in. Just watch it. Watch it. I have a feeling you're going to be fucking thoroughly impressed.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be one hell of a card. But honestly, Oban, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. Give me all the time in the world, despite your hectic schedule. It's always a pleasure.
Right, bro.
So it's a pleasure to chat with you every time and wish you all the best of luck for the fight.
Thank you, bro. Top man.
Thank you very much.